Hi, I'm George Donnells. I'm the host for this channel, Washington Secret Places. Just in this video, want to give you kind of an overview of what I mean by a secret place. The state is filled with marvelous attractions. We know about the Rainiers of this world. We know about the Hurricane Ridges. We know about the North Cascade Highway. But there's so much in Washington State that does not get this kind of top billing, but really offers, in a sense, kind of more in terms of a nature experience, something that offers kind of more of a sense of isolation. Over the course of the time that my wife and I have been exploring the state, we have discovered hundreds of such places, and have accumulated tens of thousands, in fact close to 100,000 photos and videos. So on this channel I'm sharing kind of the knowledge that has come from all of this exploration. Retired now, it gives me an even greater chance to get out and revisit and discover still yet undiscovered, to me, new places that fit this criteria of being a secret place. An old Washington DeLorme map book which has been relegated obsolescent by the computer. I can open it up and look at any page, and there are place names that speak out and say, "Oh, been there. Oh, what a wonderful place to visit." For example, looking down here in Southwest Washington, looking at the islands in the Columbia. Did you know that there is a free county ferry that goes from Washington to Oregon, leaving from the south end of Puget Island in the middle of the Columbia? Just the ride itself is a delight, and being on that ferry, it's kind of a moving secret place. The island itself has great charm. It is a great place to go bike riding, if I recall reading. Other places in the state that we have enjoyed are associated with the canoeing that we've done. Canoeing has been really the primary vehicle, the first vehicle, which put us in touch with Washington's secret places. To find a place to put a canoe in the water, where the water is flat, where the shoreline would be of interest, required a lot of map reading. Started out by referring to some of the classic books for put-in points, and ultimately discovered that this was something that I could do on my own just by poring over maps. So in Southwest Washington again, a secret place. How about another island, Price Island? It's adjacent to Cathlamet, which is a teeny tiny town. It's adjacent to Skamakawa, up the road from Cathlamet in Wahkiakum County, along the Columbia. You can put a boat in the water, a canoe in the water. You can canoe completely around Price Island, and I'm telling you, that island, it's a wild experience. I remember the birds, these huge birds, roosting, up in the trees. Maybe some eagles, maybe some dead flesh eaters, and other birds. But what a special experience to encounter wildlife while in a canoe up a dark slough with these big dark trees overhead. and have a sense that this is not the common experience that people typically have. I mean, you really have to go to some effort to put yourself in such a secret spot. There are so many secret spots along the Columbia. There are in Willapa Bay, for example, there is a wildlife refuge. It is a national wildlife refuge, Willapa National Wildlife Refuge, that encompasses the whole of Long Island. Yes, Washington has a Long Island. Again, it is a exquisite nature experience to be on that island. You need a boat to get there. Canoe does fine. And getting across the little slough, the Long Island Slough that separates Long Island from the actual headquarters for the refuge, which is on the mainland side on Highway 101. There's a parking lot there. You put the boat in the water and you can be across the island in just 2 minutes, to the island in 2 minutes. Or you can canoe around to the other side of the island where there is actually an established campground. Or you can actually traverse north along North Island Slough. And there are a bunch of separated, that is dispersed campsites that are accessible by water up halfway up the island and farther north. Something I haven't done yet. I have camped, my wife and I have camped on the west side of the island. What an exquisite experience that was. We walked some of the trails of the island, and I'll tell you the truth, it was scary. It was scary because back at this time, perhaps we weren't quite as experienced in terms of just exposure to the wildness that you can find in this state. And we had already seen, the enormous, Roosevelt elk, which are really kind of scaredy cat animals. I mean, they really do run if they see a human. But we certainly saw herds of those already on our way over to our round to the campsite. But I'm sure there are many, many bears that live on Long Island, as you really can find throughout the state. But you had a sense of kind of what it was like to be in Washington centuries ago. I had that feeling as I we walked this trail and looked up at within the forest canopy. Looked at the trees around us and had that sense of isolation, knowing, there's no highway on this road. Yes, there are some roads that exist for the wildlife people to traverse, but this is not a populated island. People don't live there. People visit it. And we who live here in the area have the opportunity to go to a Long Island and to partake, of its beauty and feel that sense of isolation and immersion in a nature experience. So, Puget Island, the Wahkiakum County Ferry, take it sometime. It's a free ferry. Goes from Washington to Oregon. To get it, you go through Cathlamet, you take the bridge over to Puget Island, this great bicycling island, and down the southern end of the island, and wait for the ferry, and it drops you off, goes up a slough on the Oregon side, drops you off in beautiful Westport. Yes, there's a Westport, Oregon. Take your canoe to Skamakawa. Find your put-in point. Canoe around. Price Island. Experience the wildness there. Take your canoe. Put in at the Willapa National Wildlife Refuge office on Highway 101. Go across to the other side. Get out. Walk around. Go to the other side of the island. Get out. Camp. Enjoy Washington's secret places.